Hello and welcome to episode 59 of the RetroSlot podcast. This week we'll be featuring Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo, as well as this week's retro news. JSniperton, how you doing this week?
Oh, doing all right.
Yeah.
Tried a new thing today. So last week I switched my schedule around, first of all, for streaming. So I'm streaming in the mornings now until early afternoon. And on Tuesdays before the podcast, I'm gonna try to go live from like 8:30, 9 a.m. till podcast time and then do the podcast and so forth. So today was the first experiment of that. Played Turtles 4 for the last hour or so. So it was a nice little transition. But yeah, like 5 minutes before the podcast, my bowels were like, "You need to go to the bathroom now."
Gotta go.
I'm like, "Guys, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, bye."
You can handle this now in like 3 minutes, or you could wait and it'll take a lot longer.
So that's why the podcast started a few minutes late. But
Are you kidding me? This is early for a
yeah
DCP production.
But otherwise, I'm good. New schedule. I'm still trying to figure out going to sleep in a reasonable time. My body's like, you want to stay up past midnight, and my head's like, no, you need to get some sleep.
It's hella hard to swap your schedule over.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. But otherwise, energy level's good. I'm not up for 10 hours before streaming stuff, so that's nice.
That's good.
Yeah. But how have you guys been?
Good. Let me ask you a question. Are you the type of person, do you like to, you're served a plate of food, right? And do you like broccoli? Are you a broccoli fan?
Yeah.
Okay. What's something that you eat because you feel like you should, but you don't necessarily like? That would be served on a plate. Banana. Okay.
Or avocado.
You don't like avocado or bananas?
I like guacamole. I don't like just plain avocado.
Okay. So
Mushy.
imagine there's like a couple of slices of avocado on your plate and then like a big juicy steak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you feel like you should eat the avocado. Do you eat it first to get it all out of the way? Or do you like push it to the side and like eat the steak first, and then if you still got room, you eat the avocado?
I want what I favor. I want to be the lasting flavor in my mouth.
Yeah, I do the same thing, but I try and get it like out of the way, right? It's like my goal is like I'm gonna wolf this down, like that way I've ate my broccoli. To me it's always broccoli. I don't really like broccoli, like I don't object to it, like it doesn't disgust me. I don't have like a horrible like I just don't. I don't love it, but I eat it first, right? Because I know it's good for me, and I want to get it in there. But I just want it off of my plate so I can enjoy all the good stuff, right? Like the the delicious stuff that's on my plate.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm like that with everything, right? If I got like chores to do, I got to do them like as soon as I wake up in the morning. Like if there's work to be done, I cannot stand when the work has to wait until like the afternoon, right? I want to get it done with, that way I can enjoy my day. But I can't enjoy myself. What's that?
Yeah, I wish I was that way. We both, my wife and I, punish ourselves. We procrastinate.
Really?
And it just hangs over us. And
Yeah.
it takes the enjoyment out of stuff because you're just sitting there worrying about whatever thing you haven't done yet.
Yeah. And I like that worry for me is so strong that I'm not really like, imagine I'm watching like a new Star Wars movie, but I know I gotta like go grocery shopping afterward. Like the whole time I'm just like, fuck, I gotta go grocery shopping after this. Like I should be sitting there enjoying this. Well, I mean, a new Star Wars movie, maybe not the best example of something that I enjoy. But
the new Super Mario Brothers movie that's coming out.
Sure, right? It's like I should be just sitting there enjoying my time with like this presumably enjoyable act. But instead, my brain is broken in a way that's I'm just focused on like, oh, there's gonna be a bunch of people there. I'm gonna have to stand in line. There's gonna be like some idiot like with a cart like diagonal across the aisle, and I'm gonna say excuse me 4 times. And if I punch them, I go to jail. Figure that out.
Am I the asshole? This is the post by Briar.
Right. Yeah. So like it occurs to me that if you just said that you used to be up for 10 hours before you started streaming.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. Not that, I mean, streaming, as you well know, streaming is work, right?
Yeah. It's mentally exhausting. It's not physically exhausting.
Yeah. It can be physically exhausting, I think.
Yeah. Well, if you're there for more than, if you're streaming long in hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
but to have that, like to have like a day, and then the last thing you do in your day is work. That to me is not like a sustainable lifestyle. Like it
I've
would just drive
always
me
lived that
crazy.
way. I've
Really?
always lived that way. I've always like when I did a lot of freelance design and stuff, I did my best work between midnight and 7 a.m.
Yeah.
because to me, the procrastination, and it was like this in school too, it would get to a point where I would feel the pressure so strongly to get something done. Like this needs to get done now,
Yeah.
whether it's external or internal. That would be when I would do my best work
Yeah.
because you don't think too hard about it. You're like, this shit just needs to get done. I need to focus on the
Yeah.
things that are clear. I'm not going to overanalyze stuff because my brain likes to overanalyze everything. So the less that I have to think about, the better. And the higher my grades were, like I was getting 90s on papers and stuff that took me 20 minutes to write and things like that. But, I just was worried about it the whole day. Like, I need to get this paper done. I need to get this paper done. Then 5 a.m., for a paper that's due at 7, I'm like, oh shit, I better get started on this. Yeah, it was not good. I was not an excelling student either.
Me
So
neither.
my wife, though, valedictorian, it's fine.
Really?
Yeah, and it's funny too because she's a procrastinator. But when it comes to, and I'm this way too, when other people are relying on you,
Yeah.
i.e., stream or like a group project or whatever, like I don't want to fail other people.
Yeah.
Like that feeling is so strong in me. That's why, like, over the years, I've been relatively consistent, maybe not as much this last 2 years, but like, I got to go live. There's literally people who are waiting to hang out with our community or like have switched their schedules so they can be up and all that stuff, which blows my mind, by the way, that people do that. But
Yeah.
I mean, the community it's awesome. And so people want to make that part of their routine.
Yeah.
So I don't want to let them down that way. But yeah, long story. Sorry.
No, no. That's what I was asking about. I don't know. So,
So,
we got,
and speaking about food,
yeah.
the discussion topics. So somebody on YouTube commented how much they hate that a lot of our discussion topics have been about food. And I'm sorry, but like for some reason it's always something that I enjoy talking about because people always have an opinion about food.
That's
And
true.
it doesn't really matter. Like who cares, right? The
Yeah.
pineapple on pizza debate. It's not really something that you're gonna like go fisticuffs on. It's
No,
just a
in
funny,
fact,
silly little debate.
whenever that question comes up, I try and gauge the temperature in the room and then
And you
take
do
the
the
opposite
opposite.
stance.
Uh,
I
I
don't
like,
actually have an opinion.
I don't want to talk about like real stuff. Like, who wants
Yeah.
to talk about that? Just bullshit.
Yeah.
But somebody got really upset about it on YouTube.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm not really sorry about that.
Like, of all the things to get upset about.
Yeah. People get upset about weird stuff. It's that it's a thing, I'm not going to get political, but I believe that there are forces in this world that are encouraging us to get upset about dumb shit.
Sure.
So that they could do all sorts of nefarious deeds without anybody even caring about it because we're so fucking worried about dumb shit.
Mm-hmm. To us versus them.
Right. When
here's
in reality,
a knife. Do something with the knife. Yeah.
Like,
while I'm doing all this stuff.
We have so much more in common than we do separate, especially the fact that we're being oppressed by the rich.
Speaking of food.
Yeah. But we're going to keep it light and talk about food.
Yeah. So steak or bacon?
Steak or bacon?
If you had to
reject
choose one,
the premise of your question.
If you had to choose
On
one,
the fact
and you
that
could
the
never
ultimate is steak wrapped in bacon.
Yeah, but the bacon's never good when you do that.
Fuck you, it's not.
It's always like loose and rubbery.
I'm sorry. It is, in fact, good.
The only time I've ever had like bacon wrapped filet mignon or something, the bacon was always floppy and rubbery.
Okay.
It's never like crisp or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's hard to cut.
No, I have not had that experience.
Then maybe I just haven't had good steak wrapped in bacon.
Usually, when I've had it, and I don't see it that often anymore. It seemed to be there was like a bacon boom,
phase.
right?
Yeah.
And it was like all of a sudden like bacon was everywhere, and like you go to almost any steak restaurant and they'd have like on the menu like, hey, you can wrap this in bacon, but I don't see it too often anymore. But when I've had it, it's usually just like one single piece of bacon wrapped around the edge of the steak.
Mhm.
I'm not talking like envelop this thing in bacon, like just a little flavor around the edge. It's good.
I think if I could have a preference with steak and bacon together, which is
Yeah.
not the premise of this question, but I would like the bacon to be cooked separately, crispy, and then
Uh-huh.
make some kind of sauce out of it, maybe like a
Oh,
truffle
okay.
butter sauce with bacon or something, and then put that on the steak
All right.
so that the bacon is still crispy.
I think I would like
But
that too. That sounds good.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. Get it on the menu,
But I'm definitely
restaurants. Come on.
given the choice between the two. Is this like what do I want to eat for like my next meal, or is this like one I get to have for the rest of my life and the other one disappears forever?
Correct.
That's
That one.
okay. Does it
Yeah.
disappear for everybody, or is
No,
it
just for you.
for me? So I can watch
Yeah.
other people eat this thing, but I cannot partake because I have
Correct.
made this arbitrary choice that you have
Correct.
forced upon me.
Yes. Yes.
You son of a bitch! This is
But it makes you think, right?
It's a
Like, what would I
lose-lose.
want? What would I prefer? But I like these silly questions that make you think because you're like, shit, what would I want? I don't know.
what
Like,
would I want.
it's a stupid question, but it's fun.
I like
Oh.
bacon, but I actually like sausage, I think, just as much. So I think
Oh.
because bacon is often associated with breakfast, and I can have sausage at breakfast, I'm gonna choose steak because, man, I really like going out to dinner with my wife and getting a big juicy steak and a couple of beers. It's like one of my favorite things in the
Mhm.
whole world.
Mhm. Steak and fries or something.
I don't like French fries.
Ah, that's right. You're a sadist. Yeah. I forgot. Yeah, I would choose steak too. Look, I like bacon, but I specifically almost always like bacon with other things, like bacon
Yeah.
on a burger or bacon on salad or on pizza or so. Like bacon by itself is solid, but it's just like salty meat.
Yeah,
It's not that
think
interesting.
you're underselling bacon a little bit there.
I'm trying to make myself feel good about my decision, Briar. All right.
Like, I like a strip of bacon, but I don't often eat 2 strips of bacon. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm presented with like a plate of bacon on a table, I'll usually take like a strip, but I won't often go back for a second strip of bacon.
Just put 2 on your plate and eat both.
It's like I don't know. I'm just not.
But you'll go for like a 32-ounce steak.
No, that's a lot of steak. That's like
16-ounce?
That's like an eating challenge worth of steak.
You don't want to gorge yourself to the point where you're uncomfortable?
What
That
was
doesn't
that old
sound good.
John Candy movie where he ate like that huge steak?
I don't remember. There's a lot of John Candy movies from back in the day.
I do agree with your take on bacon in that it's often best like in other things, like a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, like something like that,
Mhm,
or
mhm.
somebody in
That's
chat just said
texture.
candied bacon or
Mm.
bacon jam, like that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I had a friend who used to make buffalo wings, and he'd mix in a little bit of bacon in the sauce, the buffalo sauce.
I don't like buffalo sauce, but I'd try it. I'm not huge on spice, Briar. All right. Buffalo
Okay.
sauce is always spicy. I like the tang of buffalo sauce. It's the spice that gets me.
You just insulted like a whole part of New York State.
Listen, guy who doesn't like French fries, I'm fine.
Oh, did I piss off the French? I'm so sorry.
Steak und frites.
So I don't have so much as a question. It's gonna end up in a question. It's a little bit of a story, and I kind of want your advice in the form of like, what are they really asking of me? So I got a text today. It was from my trainer, right?
Mhm.
And he said, "Brian,
One that you're hanging out with, right?
yeah, you know, my trainer / boyfriend."
Sure. My dad used to call my friends as a teenager. Is that your boyfriend you're talking to? Like, Dad, he's just a friend. Like
Oh,
as a
it
teenager.
was a
This is long
boy
time
and
ago.
a friend. His boyfriend.
Yeah, I get it. It's just funny. It was embarrassing as a teenager.
I like how it makes homophobes uncomfortable.
Sure. I was struggling with my own identity at that point. So
I understand. Briar, this is the text that my trainer sent me.
Mhm.
Briar, are you okay with taking a picture with me tomorrow for the gym's Instagram? I nominated you for Member of the Month because you've really been killing it, man. Okay. My question for you is, am I going to be the before picture?
I think probably it's gonna be before and after, right?
Well, they don't have a before picture yet. So
Oh.
if it's a before and after.
They didn't take a before picture when you started?
No. I just walked in one day randomly and said, hey, I need to sign up and I need a trainer.
And you know what? It's probably gonna be after a training session too. You're gonna be sweaty and
Yeah.
stuff,
No,
looking
we
plump.
better do the picture before the. We got to do the
You
picture
don't seem like
first.
somebody that would be bashful though about that kind of thing.
I'm not bashful about taking a picture with my trainer, with my boyfriend. I'm bashful
Sure.
about being the before picture.
Yeah.
What if some other dude is the after picture?
It's me.
So I don't know. I'm going to go in there. Of course, I'm going to dress up. I'd probably wear a tux or something, right? Just like something completely inappropriate for the gym.
What would be more inappropriate than a tux?
I don't know. I like this. Lightbulb Chaos said, go in with size 60 jeans.
Oh,
Looking like
before,
Jared from
yeah.
Subway before you knew he
Yeah.
was a pedo.
Oh yeah, good lord.
Oh my God.
Oh, is that what the Instagram model discussion topic was all about? Is that
Yes.
It says Briar's gonna be an Instagram model.
Well, what do you think I
Yeah.
should do, Jay? Should I say yes? Should I take the picture?
I would ask him.
I should ask him if I'm going to be the before picture.
Communication is the king of all relationships, Briar. You gotta ask him.
We're very early in our relationship. We're still in the still in the phase of the relationship where we lie to each other.
You gotta see where you stand, Briar. You gotta communicate. Communicate is key. Communication's key.
All right. I'll ask. We got
I don't know.
some
Have you
good.
seen?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna ask. Have you seen other people's pictures up there before?
No.
In context.
I don't have Instagram. I've never actually like.
Oh, they're putting it on their Instagram.
Yeah.
Literally. Okay.
Yeah.
Not like on their gym.
Oh, like an employee of the month, like plaque.
Yeah.
No, I have not seen something like that. I wonder if they have it. I have not seen anything. I should ask though. Like, do I get like a free month or something? Like, what's going on here?
Sure, they're using you as advertisement. What are they gonna do? But the exposure, Briar.
Yeah. That's what I need. Yeah, that's what I need from the gym.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Have you ever been in a situation, Jay, where your skill set as a streamer or content creator, I mean, you have to have a certain amount of technical ability to do all this, right? Have you ever been in a situation where you knew what they needed to be doing, but to offer that advice would either be A, be rude, or B, be outing you as like a person who does this kind of thing?
Oh, like in public.
Yeah.
It hasn't really come up
No?
for me. But generally I'm of the volition that if somebody asks, like I will offer. I'll be like, hey, would you like some help with this?
Yeah.
And if they say no, thank you, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
But it happens more often with like other streamers, to be honest. Like
Okay.
I'll notice like an issue with sound more often than anything. Like I've caught people talking to the backs of their mic and things like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I'm like, this sounds off. Usually it's people they're like, oh yes, please give me any feedback. Because most of the time, like in the example of Twitch, viewers don't want to offend their streamer by saying something's wrong.
Right.
So I'll come in, we'll like rate a channel and I'll be like, your audio's fucky. I'm not that mean or anything.
Yeah.
I'll be like, there's something wrong with your audio. And they're like, wait, what do you mean? I've been live for 4 hours. Nobody said a thing. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you're using the wrong microphone or something. Anyways, no, other than like my mom asking me to do techie stuff, not really.
Yeah. I've had
Why?
for instance, at the gym, they have a YouTube channel and they wanted to have like their YouTube channel playing on loop. And to do this, they bought like I can't remember, it was like a Roku or a Amazon Fire Stick or something like that. And they plugged it in, but then they could get to the YouTube channel, but then they couldn't get it to just like repeat play their videos.
Like make a playlist of it or something.
Right. And like I said, I kind of like started into like, hey, I know how to do that, but like they weren't having it. Like they were not receptive. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like you can tell when somebody's not receptive to taking advice from like some random dude who's
We
just
know
walking
what we're
by.
doing. Yeah.
Right. So I was just like, okay, like.
You never know who does and doesn't have more experience than you. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Right. And like, I don't advertise the fact that I've been doing this for, almost a decade. Like people don't know. Like people ask me what to do. I often like make up stuff. I'll be like, oh, I'm a garbage man, or I'm
Just wear a shirt with your own face on it next time you go to the gym. You probably have one, right?
No, I don't have a shirt with my own face on.
There's no like DCP merch with like
that's like being
merch?
a band with and wearing your own band's t-shirt, man. You can't do that. Oh, I guess I do own a shirt technically that has my own face on it now that you mention it. But I've never worn it.
Okay. I have one, but I rarely wear it out in public.
Okay.
Because people have asked me, is that you on the shirt? And I'm like, yeah.
See, that's a judgment. Like they are judging you right then.
Like, I'll wear it on stream because it's me like repping the community. It feels like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's just advertising your merch. 100%.
This is funny.
All right. We talk about some random shit on this show.
Great, it's perfect.
Retro news, Jay. We got retro news. We got tons of it.
We do actually have some retro news here. It looks like you added some stuff too.
Heck yeah.
So we had talked about last episode that the Tetris movie was coming out soon. It's out. You can watch it on Apple TV. It's like a little less than 2 hours, I think, with Taron Egerton, I think is how you say it.
I like that kid. Yeah. He's a good actor.
Yeah, and he's a great singer. Like The Thing, I watched it. Yeah, he was.
No, I don't like him anymore. He can act and he can sing. That's too much talent for one person.
Yeah,
he's hogging up all the talent. Fuck that guy.
What's the movie he did? No, I can't remember. The singer that he did the like movie from. Candle in the Wind. Elton John. He played Elton John.
I didn't know that.
He actually sang in the movie.
Oh,
and Elton was like, he's great. Like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, I don't like
attractive, nice, good actor, good singer.
What a jerk.
Like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Congratulations. But anyways, I enjoyed it. So it
was good. You watched it? Okay.
I did. I watched it pretty much the night it came out. And the things, I'm not going to spoil anything if you don't know the story, but the things that it really captured, in my opinion, is the wonder in the main character, in Taron's character's, God, what was his name? Hank Rogers. Henk. Hank Rogers. That's who he plays, is the guy who like secures the rights and stuff.
He goes to Russia and like gets the rights to bring it back for the Game Boy, right?
So it captures him seeing like Tetris for the first time and seeing the Game Boy for the first time and stuff like that. And like he was able to capture that joy and wonder and amazement and stuff, I felt like pretty accurately. And then also the tenseness of the Soviet Union at the time and all the stuff that they dealt with, like it was pretty serious. I don't know, like obviously they embellished a couple of things, I'm sure, but there's some things that I was quite surprised by in this storyline, and you don't necessarily like, how the story ends, and yet I was still in suspense. Like movies that can do that of like factual real life situations are, I don't know. I enjoy those.
That is impressive, right? It's like when you know how the story ends, but you're still like riveted the entire time. That's an impressive tool to pull off.
If you have Apple TV, it is definitely worth the watch. I mean, there's so much, like, I'm not an Apple fanboy or anything like that, but they have so many good series on that channel. And Taron Egerton, he's on the show Blackbird as well, which is like it's about him going to jail and trying to get a serial killer to flip.
I put that in my queue because of your recommendation. I'm looking forward to watching that. I feel like I gotta be in a certain mood to watch something that dark though.
Yeah, it's like Mindhunter kind of a little bit. If you watched that and you enjoy
I did
that,
like that, but again, like
it's pretty dark.
Yeah, it's like
you gotta be ready to listen to some really fucked up shit. It's pretty bad, but a good show. And I've been watching Shrinking too with Jason Segel and been enjoying that.
Is that good?
Yeah, and what's his name from Indiana Jones?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford's in that too. So yeah, I've been enjoying that.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Project Egg, which I don't know too much about, but it could bring MSX, PC-98, and Neo Geo titles to the Switch. So it's basically this. It's called D4 Enterprises revealed that it's bringing games from its original digital storefront, Project Egg, engrossing game gallery to Switch in the future. We don't know what games. We don't know when.
What are they talking about? Like, there's already Neo Geo games on the Switch.
I think more like stuff that was specific to Japan, like stuff we didn't get over here, things like that.
Are they just publishing it? Like, are they like, have they somehow become like the new publisher for this stuff?
I think they probably own the rights to some of this stuff, I would imagine, at least the overseas
Like
rights.
console rights.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's super weird. Because I mean,
So, and there's
almost every Neo Geo game is on the Switch right now. You can get it in the store. Plus, there's tons of collections, like
the US stuff.
I don't know that there's any Japanese only Neo Geo games. I mean, there's not a ton. It's not like this exhaustive library like on other consoles.
It says older Japanese PC arcade and console games.
Okay, I mean, they also talk about the MSX.
Yeah, it's not just Neo
never
Geo,
came out.
So.
Yeah, but Neo Geo. Wait,
it
says
talking
about the virtual console.
Yeah, well, it says Metal Slug, Fatal Fury, and Art of Fighting are just a handful of the titles the publisher has brought to the virtual console, and it also helped out with some of the Wii U and 3DS virtual console titles.
Okay.
So they've been involved, but they're looking to bring more stuff to the Switch, which could be good.
Okay.
I imagine they'll have to translate quite a bit of the Japanese stuff, though. I figured it was interesting. It's Switch stuff.
Yeah.
Sonic Origins, which we talked about in the past, which had some like not great reception because of
it didn't.
The like release and the fact that it only had a handful of games and all this stuff. They're making it better. It's called Sonic Origins Plus. It's releasing a bunch of other games, like 8 other games, I think, like the Game Gear games, Robotics Mean Bean Machine, and a few others. And it's going to be $10 more as an add-on if you already have Sonic Origins, or $40 as a package.
I think they announced that they're going to do a physical of this too.
Did they?
I think so. Yeah.
This will be June 23rd of 2023, so not too far, a few months.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like at least some remasters a little bit, because this whole collection is like remasters or
yeah, it's mixed up.
Like
some of the stuff is like it's like the original game, but now displayed in like 16:9. Some of it is just the ROM on a cartridge. It's like it's just the game. But I think the problem with this originally was it was like super confusing. There was like 6 or 7 different SKUs and
DLCs and all that stuff.
Yeah, you didn't really know what you're getting with each one. They had this like chart that was set up on Sega's website. It was like, what is going on here? I just want to play some Sonic, and like look, I will buy like collections of old video games. I think it's fun to play old video games on, especially the Switch, but PlayStation, Xbox, whatever. So I'll buy the collections. I like it. But when you make it like harder for me to figure out what I'm getting, and you make me feel like I'm getting ripped off, I'm like, I also have a Mister and an Analog Pocket. I can just go play this on. I've already got it. It's like
right. But it seems like the hope here is that they're going to make good on their promise.
Good.
And $10 extra for those extra games is, assuming that they up-res them at least a little bit, it's going to be a pretty decent deal.
Yeah. Also, having a physical of this, I think, is pretty neat.
Yeah. Did they do a physical of the original Sonic Origins?
No. Yeah, it was just digital, and it was just
that was the other thing
messed up. Like,
yeah, I didn't want to buy just digital of it either. So if they have a physical, I'll definitely pick it up.
Right.
$40.
I already have these games digitally, if you know what I'm talking about.
What do you mean? Completely legally, you mean? Yeah.
I do. I own them.
Yeah, all right there on the shelf. They're blurred out because it's the bokeh. It's fine. Lush, Lush, right? You buy Lush products.
What's that?
They're releasing a bath line for Mario just in time for the movie.
Oh, that Lush.
Yes.
Right, for bath time Lush.
Yes. So, but what it seems like they're repackaging a lot of their scents that they have already into just like Mario packages. Like one is like a Mario coin soap and things like
That's
that. But they're
awesome,
using,
actually, kinda,
yeah,
right?
it. I think they're using like holiday scents and stuff though, like scents that they already had. They're just repackaging it.
This doesn't
But
smell like an authentic token from Mario.
Peach is gonna be peach scent, but Bowser will be like some like
What
musky
does Mario
cinnamon.
smell like? He's a
Um,
plumber, remember that.
red and green. Mario will smell like fruity cola, and Luigi will smell like apples and flowers.
Fruity cola, that's not how I picture a plumber smelling.
No, that's them reusing their holiday scents. Apparently, is what it says.
Hashtag not my Mario.
No, they're gonna range from $12.50 to $40 US. I just thought it was kind of fun and interesting that they're doing. It's kind of an abnormal product line for Super Mario Brothers, but I thought
Yeah,
it'd be
it's cute.
kind of fun.
I think actually like having like a Mario coin shaped soap in your guest shower would be kind of funny.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know if I would open it, but yeah, that'd be. Just don't use that soap. It's for display only.
No, I definitely want the coin to be used by my guests.
Yeah,
Like,
please. When you use it, when you wipe your butt with it, just make the sound.
you wipe your butt with soap?
I use body wash with a loofah.
You put your loofah in their butt?
I do. You don't?
No.
You don't wash your crack?
I wash my crack, but not with a loofah.
So you go hands.
Like, I don't know that I'm super comfortable talking about my butt crack washing technique.
Look, let me defend it. Soap washes itself, Briar.
Yeah, but that loofah, man, that's got a lot of nooks and crannies.
That's why you rinse it out when you're done.
I don't know, man. That falls into the category of forever unclean, I think. Once something that's been in my asshole, I don't want it anywhere near the rest of my body.
You wash your face first, and you go down.
Yeah, but did you forget where it was the next time you took a shower? While you're washing your face, you're like,
ignorance is bliss.
I'm sure I rinsed this really good.
Well, you rinse before you scrub.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. This is the kind of stuff that I can't say on DCP around Watts. I would be.
Oh, yes, you can.
I haven't gotten to that comfort level yet.
Oh, it'll come.
Anyways. Boy, Atari is in the news, actually. They're acquiring Night Dive Studios, who they do a bunch of remasters of old games. They did Quake, Doom 64, Turok 1 and 2, and System Shock, which they now own. So Atari owns System Shock as an IP, which is interesting to me. So maybe we'll see some more remasters of Atari games. Maybe. Hopefully.
Okay.
So
I think this more than likely means we're going to see new games get developed with the Atari label on them, but they'll be new games.
I don't know how many new games Night Dive has done.
Well, they're doing System Shock 2. They're working on System Shock 3 right now, I think.
Okay.
Or is it a remaster System Shock? Maybe you're right. Maybe it's just going to be a bunch of remasters.
I guess we'll have to see. I don't know
Yeah.
for sure. Well, it says the possibility of a future Atari System Shock sequel or a remastered version of something like Tempest or Marble Madness could be quite interesting.
Okay. I would play a new version of Marble Madness. I'm not Tempest I thought was cool back in the day, but I don't I get real bored playing that game.
Sure.
Also, it makes me a little dizzy.
Has there not been remasters of that game since then?
Well, yeah, there's been Tempest 2000 on the Atari Jaguar. That's pretty recent.
Probably not very great though.
I think it's considered one of the best Jaguar games, which is not a high bar, but
fair. Well, I don't know. We'll see what comes. They didn't say what date or what things to come. It could be years before we see anything, but it's Atari. Atari's been in the news.
I'm happy because Atari seems to have turned a corner from the company that only makes baseball hats with speakers in them, and just basically they're just selling their brand and their logo, which is an awesome logo, but they are just relying on heritage
Nostalgia.
and selling their logo to a company that seems to actually want to make cool stuff. And
Sure.
It seems like they're really turning a corner there, and that's exciting to me.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah.
I mean, Atari television, all of them were basically dead. I mean, and television kind of is again, but to come
Oh, the
back and do
Amico.
something, yeah, to come back and do something is pretty admirable for sure.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? You might have been
No,
a little,
not really.
no. It was definitely my era. So the original Power Rangers from like the 90s, the Saban like remake of the Japanese stuff. They are doing a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Once and Always series on Netflix starting April 19th. I don't know if it's going to be all released at once, but they're bringing back like all of the original cast to at least appear in it. So for people like me, the nostalgia is definitely there. I'll check it out. Who knows how good it is? I didn't love Power Rangers, but it was kind of topical at the time.
Yeah.
And there's some good video games around Power Rangers too, at least solid ones.
Yeah.
So
Battle for the Grid. Good one.
yeah, the movie game too is solid. It's like a beat 'em up, kind of
Yeah.
like a kind of like a TMNT 4 game, a little bit.
If Power Rangers hit when I was of age, I definitely would have been into it. It's like
Yeah,
I was just too old for it when it came out.
sure. Yeah, makes sense.
But I definitely would have been into it because it was way the stuff that I liked.
Yeah, all the spinny kicks and stuff.
Yeah.
Going back and watching the series or the shows that made us or whatever, and seeing the kind of documentary stuff and around the toys and how they brought Power Rangers to the US and things like that, I found incredibly interesting. And then it made sense. I was like, they always were talking in English with their helmets on. It all
Yeah.
makes sense now. Like
Yeah.
it was just stealing footage,
Yeah.
putting voiceovers on it, and then like shooting the like school scenes and stuff separately. It's just
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. It was funny. I mean, it was kind of ingenious though, right? It's like,
Yeah, definitely. Modding specialist Voltaire, because we've been talking about the Wii U's kind of dying here. He's releasing a free NAND rebuilder for dead Wii U consoles.
yeah.
So it's not for the faint of heart. I think you have to like get a small board printed, but he's providing the board.
Yeah.
Get the board printed, and then you have to solder it to the Wii U. So it's not necessarily something that anybody can do, but it's good that it's a solution. Maybe retro stores will start doing this, and they can do
Wii U's are
fixes and
not the
whatnot.
easiest console to take apart to.
Sure, it's all compressed in there.
Yeah, it's pretty technical. I think this is something you'd probably want to send to an expert.
Sure.
But this is just if this happens to your Wii U, this isn't something you have to prepare for, right? This is just
Right.
like, oh, I turned my Wii U on. I haven't turned it on in 5 years, and it didn't turn on. Send it to Voltar. It's good that there's a solution.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those that have checked theirs and it's not working, the website he's Voltaire Voultar on Twitter,
Yeah,
and
and he's got opinions.
oh, I didn't
Oh boy,
I did not look at that. Okey-doke.
he's a fun
Anyways.
Twitter follow.
Um, we've been talking about this for a few episodes now. Sega
Yeah.
did a vote on what the fans would like to see come back, and the overwhelming, well, not quite overwhelming, the winner of the vote was the Sega Saturn.
That's cool.
So yeah, in second place was the Dreamcast, which is of no surprise to me that those two are the top.
Yeah, well, they
honest.
already did the Mega Drive, right, or the Genesis.
Yeah.
So then the only other one would be what, the Master System,
Right.
which
That was
honestly,
I think that was number 3. That was number 3, I believe.
well, there's only 3 to choose from. It came in last. But honestly,
So
the Master System, I have been gaining a respect for the Master System over the last year or so. Like, as we've done a couple of Master System games on this show, and I've explored that library a little more than I ever had when I was a kid, I'm actually enjoying a lot of that library, which is great.
Nice.
It's like, imagine there was a Nintendo Entertainment System that you just found for the first time. Oh, look at all these games. Right? It's cool.
Absolutely. I mean, I haven't really played much other than Phantasy Star, but Phantasy Star was
Well, you
very
played
enjoyable.
what was the Castlevania one? Master of Darkness.
Oh, right. Right.
That was fun.
Yes. Yeah,
Well, I don't think you liked it as much as I did, but I liked it.
sure.
This is cool though, right? It's like I hope that they'd come out with like a mini Sega Saturn and a mini Dreamcast and a mini Master System. That'd be all fun.
My question is, what are the chances that Sega did this vote and they're not going to honor the winner of the vote?
Uh, I why would you do the vote then?
Exactly. Like, I don't know. I have a hard time getting my hopes up for stuff like this because I would absolutely love a Sega Saturn Mini,
Yeah.
assuming it plays well, right?
I mean, the chances of me buying it are pretty low, to be honest with you.
Really?
But I support them making it because there's a lot of people who never played Sega Saturn, like when it was out. It's kind of, and the prices for those games are pretty high too, especially the good ones.
They're wild. Yeah.
But I have a Sega Saturn here with a hard drive in it so I play on original hardware, like every Sega Saturn game on original hardware. I think it's awesome, and I've like over the years become quite happy with that solution. So buying like a mini version of it,
Sure.
I don't know, like it's not for me, but I support it. Like I'm happy they're
What's
doing it.
your favorite genre on Saturn? Like, what games would you like to see in a collection like this?
Right now, it's all shooters, like
Shmups.
Yeah, shmups. Like why my mind is completely blanking. My head is empty and I can't think of names.
Yeah,
Sadly.
I do know that there's a lot of good RPGs, but yeah, those are mostly the ones that are ridiculously expensive on the Saturn.
Yeah, I'm gonna just
the,
type it into Google because I'm so embarrassed that I can't think of the name of shmups.
Okay. It's hard to remember all the things all the time.
On Saturn. Radiant Silvergun, Thunderforce 4, Darius Gaiden, Twinkle Star Sprites. That's a really expensive game, I believe. Like thousands of dollars. Layer Section. Battle Gorega. There's a ton of them. It was like a really big shmup console.
Yeah, I don't think I've played any shmups on the Saturn. They're basically 16-bit, right, for the most part. Those shmups.
No, it's like a
32-bit.
Early. Yeah, it's 32-bit. It's early. It's like first Polygon. That and the PlayStation are roughly equivalent.
But I mean, most of the shmups are like side scrollers or top down kind of thing.
Well, shmups in general, that's the genre. Yeah, but they had like 3D graphics too.
Oh, okay. Fair. I think you have the next one.
I'm sorry, I lost the tab that has the
million tabs. Yeah,
I am bad with tabs. I'm scrolling.
It's about the M92 hardware available in the Mister.
Oh yeah, so the Mister it got a new core. It's the M92. It's the IRAM M92. IRAM, for people who don't know, later a lot of the people who left IRAM went on to create Naztec, I think it was, who created the Metal Slug series. And their first games were for this. So Gun Force 2, and In the Hunt specifically are very popular games. And these are going to be playable in their arcade form on the Mister, which is really cool. But there's also a bunch of other games. R-Type Leo, which never got a home conversion at all. Blade Master, Hook, Lethal Thunder, Major Title 2, Mystic Riders, Ninja Baseball Batman. I don't know what that game is, but you can't tell me you're not intrigued by that title.
That sounds great.
Yeah, so this is like a, every once in a while we get on the Mister like this big block of unlocked titles that are suddenly playable in arcade perfect form, which is awesome. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's still in alpha, so the beta is coming, but you can download the alpha and play these games right now for free.
I'm looking. There's a long play of this game. Actually, it's like the Ninja Baseball Batman game. It's a dude. It's like a robot dude with a baseball bat in a beat 'em up.
Okay, all right.
It's not like a baseball game.
It's a beat 'em up with a dude with a baseball. A ninja.
So it's
baseball
literally
Batman.
It's literally a Batman. It's a man with a bat.
Yeah, that is
not like
that is a Japanese translation at its best, right? It's like, well, he's got a bat, so he's Batman.
Not the Dark Knight Batman. No, it's a man with a bat. It's Batman.
He's a ninja with a baseball Batman.
Yeah. It looks pretty fun though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it.
That's hilarious. I just had to see that.
Also, Outrun, the Sega driving game, finally got released like to everybody on the Mister. This game, for some reason, has been like years in like the porting. Apparently, this game was very, very difficult to port over to the Mister. Like more difficult than most other projects. This was ported over by Jotego, and they had a rough time. He's got like a whole staff now helping move these things over. They have a Patreon that you can support to help them kind of fund this, and it is quite popular, and he has an entire staff devoted to this. And finally, Legendary acquires the Street Fighter movie and TV rights.
Oh my god. Wait, oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. You got me to click on it and you rickrolled me. Legendary, they're the ones God, are they the ones that did the new Last of Us series? Or no, what did they do? They did they're the ones who did the the movies. John Wick. That's them?
I believe so. I don't really know their filmography. I'm just happy that somebody's going to take another crack at Street Fighter the movie. They say it has they are starting production like immediately. Not production like filming, but like they're going to start working on this right now. Nothing
Wait,
so far about
TV. Why did you put a Rickroll video in the notes?
Because I thought it'd be funny.
But it's serious.
Yeah, it's a real story.
Oh, I thought I was getting like April Fooled here.
No. I just decided to Rickroll you on a serious story.
Damn it! Now I'm excited, and then I was sad, and then I'm excited again.
Yeah, they're really gonna make another Street Fighter movie. Which I am
so many more
actually.
Characters now.
What's that?
There's so many more characters now than there was when the original one came out.
That's true. And they have yet to make a live action Street Fighter movie that's any good. They came out with Chun-Li movie. I can't remember what that was actually called. Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
It came out in like 2010-ish era. 2012. I didn't see it either. I heard it was so bad that I decided, you know what? I like my Chun-Li as is. Us unmolested by Kristen Crook.
Did you see the College Humor, like retired Street Fighter series?
Yeah, that was good.
That was from like 15 years ago, but it was
that is quite old now. There's been a bunch of actually good Street Fighter. Like there's the Street Fighter anime. There's a couple of Street Fighter animes that are pretty good. There was this like made for YouTube series that was live action that really focused on like Ken and Ryo training together and like their early kind of years. It was actually pretty good considering it was made for like YouTube. That was pretty good. So yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to see this. I see this as a no-lose situation. Either we get this like awesome movie that we all enjoy, or we get another Street Fighter the movie, which we can all make fun of for the next 30 years.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
All for it. By the way, I'm still playing Street Fighter Duel.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm enjoying it. I haven't put a cent into it or anything.
That's good.
It's fun.
Good.
But it is, yeah. It's a gotcha game. What are you gonna do?
So, I've been playing Street Fighter 5, and I just bought this controller, which is called a hitbox. Instead of arcade stick, it has like these buttons that you hit instead. Literally got banned like this week as the thing was shipping to me.
So what are you going to use it on?
They could modify it. I could modify it to like I could put a new firmware on it so it'll comply.
Briar's going to skirt the law.
I fought the law and the law won.
It's like the Zim Cronus scenario.
I got a Zim. I think it's right here.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in the closet.
I own a Cronus, but it was mainly just to be able to play with the Xbox controller on the PS5.
Nice. I actually played a PvP match against the Bungie developers with a Zim.
You probably still lost though, right?
No, we won. # undefeated.
Oh. All right. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 Turtles in Time.
Yeah.
Not to be mistaken with the Turtles in Time in the arcade that did not have the TMNT 4.
Right. The TMNT 4 was because 1, 2, and 3 had come out on the NES, so this was in that lineage. But the Turtles in Time in the arcade was just a sequel to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game.
Mm-hmm.
Which, to be honest, when I see either one at the arcade, I have trouble telling them apart until I read the marquee.
Yeah, the gameplay looks similar in the arcade. It's a lot easier to tell on console for sure, because the NES
Yeah.
versus the SNES.
Right. Yeah.
So for those who aren't familiar with the Turtles in Time game, it's a 4-player choose your own character, at least for the console. Beat 'em up, kind of like like the Simpsons game or the X-Men game or Final Fight or anything like that. And each character has their pros and cons. Some have more range, but they're slower, or that kind of thing. And some have less range, they're quicker, or they're stronger, that kind of stuff. And there's lots of different move combos. This was the top game and still is for Konami in the arcade. Did you know that?
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, no, but I believe that for sure.
Wild. So how far did you end up getting on this?
I owned this game when I was a kid, and I've beat it several times
By yourself?
by myself and with friends.
It's
tough
to play solo.
It's not as fun to play solo either. Part of the enjoyment factor of these beat 'em ups does depend on playing them with a friend. And I think the beat 'em up genre as a whole has not aged super gracefully, because of its simplicity. I think some games they've been able to add to it, and I think some newer games have come out pretty good, like Shredder's Revenge, which just came out last year. I thought was really fun, but they build upon it. There's more mechanics in these newer games. But yeah, this is one that I owned, and actually I played it in the arcade a couple weeks ago with my new boyfriend. And we actually got to play this in the arcade, which was kind of fun.
Nice.
And I'll be honest with you, without having them side by side, it'd be hard to tell the difference. But the Super Nintendo version of this game looks fantastic.
It is arguably, people say it's the better version because it includes the time trial and the versus mode.
Okay.
However, and it also has a few extra levels, they move some of the things around.
Yeah.
Right? The thing that bugs me the most about this game, we're talking about co-op,
yeah,
is that even with the multi-tap, you cannot play this 4-player.
Oh, interesting. The Super Nintendo just couldn't handle it, probably?
Correct. It's 2-player only.
Maybe if it had blast processing, it would have been able to handle it.
Yeah, it bugs me. You have the multi-tap, what games can you use it for?
Yeah. Well, Final Fight, you couldn't even play 2 players. You could only play 1 player.
That's wild.
Yeah.
According to the wiki too, there was a 2-player arcade version of this. I could not find it anywhere online. I couldn't find a picture of it.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's true. It was just according to the Wikipedia. But apparently there was mod chip or whatever that you could convert it to a 2-player. Because in the 4-player arcade, you couldn't choose your character. You had to choose the joystick.
Yes, that's right.
Character.
So
the 2-player version and the console version, you get to choose your character. So
the 4-player also takes up a lot of room because the deck where all the controls are has to be wide enough for 4 people. So the whole machine is just huge.
Yeah, that's one of the things, because you can get this on an arcade 1-up, but the controls are kind of compressed. I imagine it would be tough to play with 4 normal sized adults on one of those smaller machines.
Yeah, I would guess you're right. I think they did that with all their 4-player games. They did The Simpsons, I think, the same way, and it was kind of if you were on the sides, you're kind of
Yeah.
I mean, they were kind of tilted to the side on the actual arcade cabinet, but because it's so big, it's I don't think it bothered you as much.
As a kid, I don't think I ever really noticed it because you're a kid, 4 kids.
Yeah,
quite a bit
kids
easier.
are dumb. You're right.
I played this game on stream about 2 hours ago, and I got, I don't know, to the 4th or 5th level.
That's pretty good. Solo?
The prehistoric one. And it was the Slash boss, the turtle with the sword and stuff that I just couldn't get past.
Yeah. Did you play this in the Cowabunga collection, or did you play a cartridge?
I haven't yet. No, I played the cart. I played it on the analog.
Okay.
Is it different on the Cowabunga collection?
I believe it allows you to play multiplayer online, which it strikes me as a missed opportunity for us, honestly. We should have probably tried to hook that up.
Yeah.
Because I think we both own this. And sadly, my copy is still in the goddamn saran wrap, which makes me sad a little bit.
Yeah. But did you play the cart or did you played it this week, right?
Yes, I played it. I played it on the Mister, and I played it on the
Mister.
Analog Pocket, and it was super enjoyable to play on the Analog Pocket as well.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah,
It's not on the Nintendo Switch Online probably because of the collection and also Konami.
yeah, probably. Yeah, strangely, Konami has not. There are no Konami games in the NES or Super Nintendo collection, but there are in the Genesis collection, which is
Yeah,
super weird on
which
the.
is wild.
Yeah. They actually, I'm sorry, a little off topic, but they actually just updated the Cowabunga collection to add online to a bunch more games, and they added like some new artwork and like they just updated this in a pretty big way, which is kind of neat.
I didn't know that they were going to do that.
I think it just happened today. I just saw that news like as I was getting ready for the podcast.
Have you checked out or have you tried the 2009 version of this game?
I have seen it. It's like the same game, but it's like with 3D graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did not get great ratings, and because it's like 360 PS3 era.
Yeah.
So, those kind of glossy 3D graphics a little bit.
Yeah. I
haven't played it, but
I mean, like I said, I was saying before, it's hard to like these games. I don't think age super well because they're so simplistic. Like it's hard to keep your attention through like several levels of play. And what I think the newer games that have kind of gone back to this playstyle have done is add like newer combos, more buttons, like like Streets of Rage 4 I thought was fantastic. Shredder's Revenge, but they add so much, right? They add so many mechanics to the actual fighting that it engages you much more than just tapping attack, or jump kick,
Yeah. I think one of the biggest frustrations for me in these older beat 'em ups, and it's not just this game,
Yeah.
but when you try to use like a super move or something like that, it takes a chunk of your health away.
Yeah.
Which in Shredder's Revenge, it doesn't do that. You can like spam your super over and
Right.
over and over again once you get it. Which I don't know if it's kind of an extreme difference, but when you play a game like this, especially solo, you don't want to sacrifice health like at all.
No, especially when you're
So,
dumping quarters into the machine.
yeah. So that was always something that frustrated me. Did
Yeah.
you know that the arcade cabinet never made it to Japan?
That doesn't surprise me. I don't think Turtles was that big in Japan, really.
The Famicom game did, but the arcade game didn't, which I found quite interesting.
I think this game on the Super Nintendo came like a year later or something like that.
Yeah. So like I said, the SNES version has a couple extra modes and a few extra levels. They moved some bosses around too, compared to the arcade, which I found interesting. And this is one of the SNES's shortest games. If you don't use a continue, you can comfortably beat it in under an hour, like 40 minutes. And speedrunners have run it under 20.
20? Like, how do you get through it that fast? That's kind of incredible.
Yeah. Probably spamming super moves and stuff. I imagine that's solo too, so. Wild. Gamers, man.
Speedrunning is incredible to me. It's just,
Yeah.
The amount of focus and patience it takes to become a competent speedrunner at a game. Very cool.
Yeah, I don't think I have the ability or the
or the motivation.
Patience for that to learn all the like
desire.
little spots and things. Yeah. Know exactly where every enemy is going to be at all times.
I was reading the Wikipedia for this game, and they mentioned that this is often confused with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, the movie, where the turtles go back in time, and people call that Turtles in Time because they get confused with this game, like the title of this game and the fact that they time travel in that movie. But there is no Turtles in Time associated with that movie. It's just people.
And more of the enemies and environments were taken from the second movie and the TV series.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The animated series. Yeah. The 87 one.
Yeah.
I watched that show all the time. Did you watch
the animated
that show?
series?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was an early Super Nintendo 2 game as well, right? It came out in 1991.
In the arcade.
I'm sorry, you're right. 1992 in North America, in August 1992. Oh, it actually came out in Japan earlier, this says. It came out in July, which surprises me.
Maybe because they didn't have the arcade cabinet?
Maybe. So yeah, it's an early Super Nintendo game, but it looks so good. Like this is one of those like blow you away kind of like, oh my god, they
Still,
truly brought the arcade home. This killed the arcade. Right? Like, why would I go to the arcade when I can play this at home as much as I want?
yeah, still looks great.
Yeah, I remember playing this with my buddy, and when you occasionally when you do a throw, when you throw one of the Foot Clan members, they come at the screen,
Mhm.
and it was just so impressive. I think in the arcade they splat against the screen and then like slide down. Yeah, but I don't think they do that in the Super Nintendo game. But it's still so impressive to see. Like, I think they use that that scaling effect that's built into the Super Nintendo. What's that called? Like something 7, mode 7. And the enemy comes at you in like this 3D effect that was so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it took me a second to refigure out how to do that, where you have to hold forward when you hold and throw. Apparently, in the arcade, it was like more random
Oh, okay.
than it is on the console, uh, which I found interesting. Like to have a level completely based on that mechanic and then have it be kind of hard to get done,
Yeah.
be kind of frustrating.
Yeah. That's true.
Ugh.
On
Anything else?
on the screen right now, they're showing the robots with the like laser lassos or the electric
Fuck those
lassos.
guys.
Dude, so annoying, so annoying. And they have stuck with that character in like every Turtles game ever since, right? It's like they're in everything.
It's
Oh,
like the
I hate
turtle
'em.
flood
Yeah,
and the ones that attach to you and you gotta like shake them off.
yeah. This game also had a lot of shared assets with the Genesis game. Uh, Something about Manhattan. I can't remember. Oh, Hyperstone Heist.
Hyperstone Heist, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, they didn't get the 1, 2, and 3 on Genesis or anything. So
no, those are 8-bit games for sure. But yeah, that was kind of neat that like if you were a super fan, you could have both of the games and they were different games, even though they
Mhm.
shared some assets, right? It's like the Turtles essentially look the same, but the levels were different and like the story was different. So it was cool.
We've done a lot of turtles on this show. We've done the first one, we did Tournament Fighters, and now TMNT 4.
Yeah, we're running out, right? I really like the Ninja Turtles. So I loved them when I was a kid. I
Same.
still kind of like them.
Who doesn't like the Ninja Turtles?
I don't know. Communists, dirty reds.
After watching the Tetris movie, that hits different. You got to go watch it.
Yeah, I will. I'm definitely gonna watch it. I've seen that it's out, and I remember you talking about it. I'm looking forward to this. So let me ask you this then. Going back to it and playing it again, like how do you think? Like how did you feel about playing it now? Like, would you recommend this to somebody
Oh,
just to
100%. I
play?
mean,
Yeah,
it still feels good. It feels better to play with a friend.
yeah,
The health bar thing on a super is not great, but you learn what enemies to jump kick and what enemies to go after, or what, it just felt kind of like home jumping back into this, to be honest.
yeah.
Not like I have a million hours on this game, but it's just really easy to pick up. It's easy to play with your friend. I can't remember if friendly fire's on. If you can like hit your friends co-op. I can't remember. You might be able to.
I want to say this game cost like $80 when it came out too, which is if you think about like getting a game home, it cost you $80, and you play through it in like a couple of hours, like the first day you got it. But like I liked it anyway. Like I was biased because I liked the Ninja Turtles, and I liked playing it with my friends when they would come over. But man, like gaming is different, man. Like your dollar goes so much further than it used to.
Yeah. Which is ironic too, because the budget for games is so much higher now.
Right? Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway.
Anything else on TMNT 4?
I can't think of anything. I'd definitely recommend checking this game out. What are the prices like for a cartridge and for a complete in box copy?
Cartridge, I probably $40-ish.
That's not too bad. That's worth it.
Complete in box though, you're looking, depending on condition, between $200 and $400 probably.
Good. I'm glad Turtles are getting some respect.
My box is pretty beat up.
Is it?
Yeah. Manual and cart are in decent shape though. Actually, well, it looks like a cart's about 40 to 50, and then completing boxes. I mean, it's wild. You can have a decent condition one go for 200, and you can have a mint one go for 600. Like, just the condition matters so much on this stuff.
Sure. Of
Anyways.
all of the PlayStation or all of the Turtles games that we've played so far on this podcast, how would you rank them?
Of the 3?
Yeah.
I mean, this is number 1 to me.
Okay.
And then Turtles 1 would probably be next, and then
Tournament
Fighters.
Yeah, I agree. That's how I would rank them too. I have gained more respect for TMNT 1 for the NES since we played it, because I actually had a great time playing it, and like, I had to do some research so that I could actually play all the way through it. Like,
looking up
it's
guides
not
and stuff.
intuitive. It's really hard. But once you understand like how to play through it, I actually really enjoyed my time with it. I don't think it gets. I don't think it deserves the hate it gets on the internet.
That was one of the few games that we actually owned growing up, so I played that game a lot.
Yeah,
and died a lot. But it's just, it's just what you do as a kid. You just play through a game a million times.
Yeah. What's next week's game?
So I was gonna give us a choice.
Okay.
Based on genre, and they're all NES games.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about, I didn't put in the news, the creator of Bubsy passed away recently. So I was thinking maybe we could do a Bubsy game soon. I know you're not a huge fan of the game, but for those listening, Briar is making a pouty, sad face.
There must be some other way we can honor the man.
I don't know. It's not that bad of a game. Anyways, we have a puzzle game.
Okay.
Kind of obscure.
Okay.
We have a kind of obscure platformer game.
All right.
And we have a very mainstream RPG.
Oh. Rank them in order of best box art.
The RPG would be number 1, the puzzle game would be number 2, and the platformer would be number 3.
I would like to do the puzzle game.
Okay. Adventures of Lolo.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Do you want to know what the other game choices were?
No.
Okay. It was on my stream. Or no, actually, I didn't even talk about it.
Oh.
I talked about one of them, I think. There you go.
All right.
Adventures of Lolo.
I'm excited.
I've never played this. I've never played it. It looks on the back, first impressions, it looks kind of like a Bomberman type game, which we haven't done. I don't know if we've done Bomberman.
No, we haven't done Bomberman.
I don't know. I just figured there's 3 Lolo games on the NES.
Yeah.
Like,
I think they get significantly more expensive, like the deeper you go, right?
Yeah, it's not terrible. Like, I think a Lolo cart can be had for less than $20.
Yeah, but Lolo 3, I think, is somewhat expensive.
It's like 75. Yeah. was that a gulp?
I've been whiskeying it up over here. Things are happening.
Yeah, I think you can get a copy of the first one for about $10 or maybe 50 or 60
Great.
CIB.
I think I have a copy. I'm not sure. I have to look at my extensive library of 12 NES games.
I want to look at the reviews real quick. Just first impressions.
Oh, this game is beloved.
Yeah, reviews are good.
Yeah.
7s, 8s.
Yeah. It's like a
solid puzzle game.
It's like if you cross like a over the top like kind of adventure game with a puzzle game. It's cool. It's very cool. And Lolo is a lovable character.
Yeah, it's just a little blue ball.
Yeah, he's like a weeble wobble, but they won't fall down.
Do you have any pickups other than the controller?
I only had one. This one came in the mail actually today. And this is something that I think I talked about like right when this show started, and it's taken this long for it to finally show up in the mail, is the Nintendo Switch copy of Breaker's Revenge, or Breaker's Collection, which is, by collection, they mean exactly 2 games, Breakers and Breaker's Revenge for the Neo Geo. This came out digitally a long time ago, like last year, but of course I wanted to buy the physical edition. So I have been waiting patiently to get my copy for all this time, and it finally showed up. I'm going to show you the back because that artwork needs to be shared.
Yeah, sure. That's a picture.
It sure is.
For those that are listening, go look at the YouTube video. It is a picture. Or just look at the Breakers collection on Switch, and you'll know why.
I think that lady's name is Mia, and she's basically like a Ken and Ryu kind of character with like a fireball and a dragon punch, but she's wearing like 80s like workout like leg warmers and like leotards. It's hilarious. Game is wonderful. It's really like a unacknowledged classic for the Neo Geo, and it's awesome that it finally got like a collection for the Switch. Sadly, I think that I waited so long to get a copy that probably there's nobody playing it online anymore. And that's kind of why I wanted it, was to play people online. But, fuck it.
You might be surprised.
Yeah, we'll see.
I actually had this pickup last episode and I had forgotten about it, so I'm doing it now. I talked about this game, and of course, I was so curious about it. I went and purchased a complete copy for less than $40 online, and it's by Digital Eclipse. One of the best games they ever produced, Lilo and Stitch.
Oh yes, you have been talking about this game.
So it's kind of there's parts of it that are kind of Metal Slug-esque.
Yeah.
And I played a little bit of like the first level, and it's really responsive.
Yeah.
And the graphics are really good for a GBA game and stuff. And there's like different types. If you look at the box art on the back, from my left to right, it would be the Metal Slug stuff, and then the kind of shmup stuff in the middle. I don't know.
Man, how did you not pick this game for this week's show? Next week's show?
Because it's GBA and we haven't done any like handheld stuff at all.
Okay.
Now that you have a pocket, you're like, let's go.
Yeah, right.
You can pick up Lilo and Stitch as a game for less than $5. Just
right. It's like it's a hidden gem, right? It's like a unacknowledged classic.
Exactly. But it's developed by Digital Eclipse, and we're big fans of them. So
I'm in. I can't wait to play that. I might order a copy. It's so cheap that I might just want a copy for my collection. You know what my favorite kind of game is? The cheap ones.
Yeah.
I like the
cheap good ones.
You know how much I spent on a new water heater? I'm sorry. A new furnace. I just bought a new furnace. That broke my heart and my wallet.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been quoted on that because our furnace is like from 1992 or something, and it still works, but yeah, it's hurting.
Why don't they sell insurance for like that kind of stuff? Like, I'll just pay a monthly fee, and if something goes wrong with my house,
they do. It's called home insurance.
No. Home insurance does not cover a new furnace.
If you buy a new furnace and it breaks, then I think it does.
That's covered under the warranty for furnace.
Sure. I think there's
if a tree falls on your furnace, home insurance covers it. So here's a tip. If your furnace dies, it's time to drop a tree on it.
Why is this furnace out in the front yard? The tree. Man.
It was a hell of a storm.
Yeah. I watched it get sucked out and just.
Yeah. All right. That's it for pickups. Just 2 games.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I do have a copy of Tetris for Game Boy on the way.
Oh, that's a classic.
I didn't own the Game Boy version.
I'm surprised you didn't own the Game Boy version.
I was too, actually, and I've been on the lookout. It's kind of expensive to get.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It came with every Game Boy.
Well, to get a boxed copy.
Oh, of course. I'm sure it's the same problem as Mario for the NES, right? Who would buy a boxed copy? It came with every NES.
I have the packed in Game Boy. I have all those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't have a boxed copy. So
I have a copy for the NES in a box.
Yeah.
But that wasn't very expensive.
No. Like $30 maybe. 20, 30.
I don't think it was that much. All right, I think we should wrap this one up, Jay. Been awesome. We'll see each other soon because we're doing the Destiny. Jay's been doing the Destiny community podcast with us, which has been great.
It should be on next week.
Next week, not this week? Oh, okay.
Correct.
Okay.
It's been too long.
Yeah. I'm really happy that you're coming on to that show too. That's been really fun.
It's been nice.
Thank you all for hanging out with us. I got to start thinking about, so this week's game, I already forgot. Lolo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rambling. I'm just going to end the show. Thank you all for listening.
Bye.
We'll be back in 2 weeks playing Lilo and Stitch. No, I'm sorry, playing Lolo.
More whiskey, Briar. More whiskey.
Bartender. 2 more. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.